Hello, my name is Christina Mackay and I'm the co-founder of INN. INN is designed to bring together investors, entrepreneurs and advisors, and it helps entrepreneurs get the funding they so crucially need. So today I want to touch on funding. First up, I want to talk about the different stages of funding. So when we say stages of funding, we're going to start with self-funding. So this is bootstrapping. So this is when you have a fantastic idea, you want to start to build your team, you want to do your business plan, your sales and marketing plan, and you want to start to think about the design of your product. So whether it's a product or service, whatever it may be, start to think about how that actually looks like. Now, once upon a time, back in 2000, say, 2003, 2004, you could be in line of a coffee shop and you have a great idea and be talking to a friend about it, and a few persons down at the back of the coffee shop, someone can overhear you and say, hey, I like the sound of that idea, here's 50K. Unfortunately, those days are long gone. So during this self-funding phase, you need to do so much more than you ever used to have to. So it's not just the business plan we talked about, the idea, talked about the prototype, but you also, and this is crucial, you need to go out to the market, you need to talk to your customers, you need to get feedback from them, and you need to know and be able to prove that there are customers there biting at the bit, wanting your product or service, and going to pay for it as well. So that's self-funding and essentially bootstrapping. Next up, we have friends and family. Now, friends and family, it's important here that you don't just take their money and say thanks very much, you treat them like proper investors. So they should be on your capitalization table. If you're not sure what that is, no problem, there's one on inn.global, an example and template for you to use. But you should treat them as investors. They will take a share of your business in return for that investment they gave you. You should report to them, you should provide them updates, and really treat them like a proper investor. And I think this friends and family round, this helps you to do what I sometimes call a soft launch. So this is when you go to the market with your product, your minimal viable product. And this just helps you test it, start collecting data, so data of what your customers think about it, how much you are able to charge for it, your increase in sales over time, your cost of goods, all these types of things. So it helps you to be able to prove your concept, be able to prove you have value and that people want you. So that's a great stage, because collecting that data and being able to prove all those and having those first few customers, that allows you to go on to the next round, which is seed. Now, seed is the first round where you go out and get money from external investors other than friends and family. So seed, as I said, at this stage, what these investors are looking for is proof that your product and service is wanted. So they do want a bit of traction. And I know that seems difficult. How can I have achieved all of that and got some traction before I've even got my seed round? But unfortunately, that is the world we're in. But don't worry, I'm here to help. I've got a lot of tools and resources for you, and there's lots out there in the world. You can also get mentors and all sorts of resources to help you get to that point where you've got your product and service out there and you've got that first bit of traction. So where does this seed round come from? Well, it comes from private investors, it comes from high net worth investors, sophisticated investors. Some people go to crowdfunding, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. And it's really people who have, a lot of these people either have had fantastic careers, saved up and now they're investing, but a lot of them have been entrepreneurs and had their own company and then exited and using the money they made to invest in new companies. So that's where the money comes from, and these private investors might be investing £10,000 a go, or some of them will invest up to, say, 50,000 or even 100,000, but unlikely that they would invest that money in one business, because these angels like a diverse portfolio. So they might have 5 businesses that they've invested in 1 year, for example. So this seed money, this is absolutely key to take you on to the next stage, because now you want to be growing, and between rounds you want to grow 10 times in terms of your revenue or your user base or your valuation, perhaps, or maybe 5 to 10 times in your valuation. So as you're going through this growth phase, you've got that bit of money to be able to refine your product and service. So previously we talked about a soft launch with your minimal viable product. Now you can use more advanced technology that's available. You can really improve your product and service, and you can adapt it in response to your customers' feedback. So whatever they've said that they did like, they didn't like, you can shape it around their needs to make sure you're providing better quality and increasing your sales. And then of course, a lot of this seed money is also used on sales and marketing. So if you've been able to get your product out there and start testing it, make sure your product and service is right, make sure your processes and your management behind the scenes is right, then you're ready to go with some strong sales and marketing to get your product out there to help with the growth. So that's seed. Then I'm going to go on to Series A. So Series A, and this is your growth round, it's also referred to. So again, where does this money come from? Well, Series A can still come from private investors, so these high net worth and sophisticated investors. They will still be interested in putting some money in, and these angel groups. But now we start to introduce our small VCs, so small venture capital firms that might be putting in, say, 2 million. And that's what we're looking for at the Series A round. Now, Series A is really about the scale. So you've had your minimal viable product at the self-funding round. You've then gone and tweaked your product and service. You've improved your technology. You've started to spend some on sales and marketing. So you've had that little bit of growth. Now we're looking for that real scale. And that could be international scale, or it could be scaling through your product line, for example. Or it could be just used to completely dominate the marketplace and wash all your wash all your competitors away, not your customers. You want your customers. So that's your Series A. Now, at the seed and the Series A, that's where I can help you. So you're very welcome to join INN, and very welcome to get in touch with me if you need that help. Next, we have Series B. Series B is also known as expansion. So at this stage, your business will probably be valued around north of £20 million. And in terms of who will be putting in the financing for Series B, we're looking at VCs and perhaps larger VCs at this stage. Maybe they'll be putting in 5 million. And we'll also be looking at some debt financing. So banks that will do debt financing, so they'll provide your money in the form of debt instead of equity. So I should have said earlier, it's the angels and the VCs will be taking equity. So that's your Series B. And then next we have your Series C. It's also been termed as mezzanine, but that's not a regular term used, but Series C is more the regular term used. Now, at this stage, you're really a big corporation. Your valuation is over 100 million for sure. You have over 100 employees. So you're really a big company now. And when you go through this stage of financing, I would expect you to have a finance team that can really consider the options. So again, is it the large VCs? Is it this debt financing? But now we might start to introduce some private equity houses as well. And then finally, after all those funding rounds, if you continue to want to raise some money, you might decide to do your IPO, so your initial public offering. That's one option. Or you might have some competitors that want to buy you at this stage, or collaborators that want to buy you. So that will be your exit. And then the other option, of course, is that you're actually making some very sustainable profits, and you don't need any more financing. You just want to grow sustainable foundations and grow to be a dominant player in the marketplace. So those are the stages of funding. If you have any questions, please do comment on the video, message me through Facebook, join INN. You can private message me or chat with me live. Thanks so much. Bye.